The night of the attacks in Bataclan, I was in Paris with my family, and we had to leave a hotel. There were ambulances everywhere, and I found myself wandering alone around the city, in the streets. There was silence, there was distrust between people, and that made an impression on me. I read everything I could around the Bataclan attack and the other attacks in Paris, and these were places, locations that I'd actually seen. And then I came across the book by Ramón Gonzalez, who talks about this story and the effects it had on people, which were rather emotional rather than physical effects. And I'd been working with Isaki Lacuesta on some documentary, and we talked about how we might tackle this book, this story, together. And he was 100% on board. Here we have a Spanish writer talking in our language about this attack in Paris, but he saw the same as I did in the work. Yes, the encounter with Ramón and Céline, which were their real names, but we thought in the film it would be worth putting a little bit of distance between the film and the real person. And when I saw that this was going to be material that would appeal to me, and it was something I really wanted to do, especially when we saw that these people experienced the night in very different ways and were therefore not able to share what had happened to them. But they're a couple. They were together during the attack. And so we came across things in these stories that we'd not seen anywhere in the press or in other interviews. And there were a lot of debates there about the reasons, the motives, the consequences, macro themes, but not about people's emotions, the feelings that people had, the effect, the impact it had on personal lives. And I'm trying not to use the word survivor here, because they want to live, not survive. And this is what we're talking about here. We're looking at the details, the emotions that fill the film. Perhaps it makes us focus a little on desire or time, things we want to do, don't want to do. This was very violent, very traumatic, and so it's like a birth in a way. You come out of the numbness and you realize you're in a place and you start to feel contented with where you are, with simply the fact that you are, that you exist. There's perhaps a little amour propre there. You discover yourself again, and that enables you to love again, or to perhaps rebuild a love that has been very fractured by that tragic event. As an actor, I try to draw on anything that can make me feel the truth of a situation that you've not yourself lived in, and I wasn't there during the attack. So you try to draw on other personal things that can guide you in that. One thing that gave us a responsibility but also enabled us to make the film was the generosity of the real Ramón. And talking to Nahuel and Noémie, and these are characters who inspire our characters, but they also had a lot of reactions and stories that we related, or that he related to other characters who'd been in the Bataclan. But the real Ramón and Céline were very generous, and they helped us very much with the script and during the rehearsing. And they also came to the shoot for some of the more complicated periods, when there's a lot of emotional charge. For example, talking to us about what was it like in this locked room, and they were there with us, explaining what it was like. And they would come and say, yes, more of this, more of that. We were very emotional, but yes, what are those two doing? How can they do it? They said. They were full of admiration. How could the actors go about reconstructing this? And we would say, yes, well, this is a trade, it's a craft, it's artificial. But it was marvelous. Like Céline and Ramón, there are some who need to share to move on in life, and there are others who don't want to or want to wait before they do. And it's the same with the film. I think there are some French people who are ready, but it depends. Some people want to talk, some people want to exchange memories, others who would perhaps prefer to wait until later, and others just don't want to know. There is no answer to that question.